What is good, guys? This is your boy Vince Wilberg here, and this part of the video is more of a quick disclaimer to let you guys know that I was so excited about this discussion that I did the recording over Discord with OBS, and I made the mistake of not resetting my mic delay settings. So my special guest that is more than just a Tekken fan's audio overlaps with mine just a little bit, but you can still make sense of what's going on. I really want this video to come up because he provided some amazing points and it was a very fun discussion. And just to be clear, this wasn't a mistake on his end, it was a mistake on my end. So the next time I do a discussion with him, I'll be a bit more careful when it comes to that. And so I hope you guys enjoy the video and enjoy the valuable information that my special guest has provided for us today. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you guys again later. Peace. What is good, bros and bros? And like I said before, this is a very, very special video because I have a very, very special guest. And I am like so excited to introduce this man because like when I saw his channel, you know, I had subscribed to him. I was watching some of the things that he has done, and it was like the crazy thing about this man is he actually managed to experience Tekken 7 hecka early, and like I wanted to watch all of it, but at the same time it was like I was a little fearful of getting spoiled a bit too much. I want a little surprise here and there. However, I had a crazy idea. I didn't know if it was going to happen, and I made the decision to reach out to him and see if I could get in contact, and he replied really fast, and I was like, whoa, really? This is awesome. And I checked out his Twitter, and I was shocked at what I saw. Apparently, he is deep. I'm talking really deep into Tekken. And my good sir, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Thank you very much. Well, my name is SpaghettiRIP, my tag. I'm a competitive player, tournament organizer, and commentator from Europe, specifically London. And I've been playing Tekken competitively for quite a few years now. And yeah, like Ven said, recently got onto the YouTube game as well, which is where he found me. So very thankful that he reached out to me for this interview. Because I was telling him before, I actually saw a lot of your YouTube videos before, and I really love your channel. So I'm glad that I can be part of it as well.
Stop it! You're killing me right now. I'm so blushing right now. This man, I am so honored, man. Like I was like frustrated because I wasn't able to see you in action when you took part in the Tekken 7 UK Championship. Yeah. But oh my god, like I was lucky enough to get a view of some of the action that you were in. And boy, oh boy, you
Thank you very much, man. Thank you. Yeah, it was a very unique experience as well. You know, such a big tournament, and you know, Tekken 7 moving into esports now, I think. So it's a good step, very good step there. Very big stage, a lot of lights flashing on me, and it was a bit of a weird experience, but it was very awesome, very awesome.
Was that like the first time you ever took part in something?
I mean, I've been in tournaments and in like high pressure situations a lot, but when it comes to Tekken, like, we haven't really had, you know, tournaments, a lot of tournaments which occur on a ESL sort of esports stage with huge production quality and all that kind of stuff. So with Tekken 7, that's something they've really wanted to do and move into, and this was just one step towards that. It's obviously the game isn't out yet. By the time some of your viewers see this, it should be out, but it wasn't out when I was doing the championship. And you know, it was just amazing, man. Just being able to sit on the stage, huge crowd, and you know, just a lot of lights and very professional atmosphere. So yeah, it was really cool.
Awesome sauce, man. Cause like I guess maybe one of the reasons why there's so much hype right now is simply because of the fact that Tekken has been out of the limelight for such a long time, and like Tekken finally has that opportunity now with 7, and it's hype. It was so hype I underestimated how quickly the collector's editions would sell out, and boy oh boy, I was shocked.
Yeah, for real, man. Yes, they've gone, man. I didn't even get to pre-order mine, so that's a bit of a shame. But man, I just want the game. I just want the game, honestly.
I agree with you 100%. And guys, the reason why my friend SpaghettiRIP is here is, like I said before, he did a video actually sharing his experience with Tekken 7 live, and I wanted to ask him a couple questions about that experience because I really want to watch this video, but I don't want to spoil myself. So I said, yo, after I do this discussion, I'm gonna go all in that video, and so that's why you're here.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh. So I guess we might as well get started. I'm so excited to hear your input. So let's get into this. So question number 1. Do you think the story mode created an experience that sets itself apart from the previous titles? And like, the main reason why I asked this is because it seems like they're really pushing the bar for a different experience. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, we've known for a very long time, even before people had their hands on the game, that this was a very important game for the story because it's going to be the conclusion of the Mishima saga, as many of us know. So they've really gone all out when it comes to the story. Now, how the story mode is actually set out is that you have the main story, which is divided into 9 chapters, and then you have all the character-specific stories, which are separately done. So you have a main story, then you have character-specific stories, and I got the chance to play, like, I mean, I was at Namco office for a bit, but obviously not long enough to go through the whole story. And actually they said that you were not allowed to go and watch chapter 9 of the story, which is the last chapter. So obviously they wanted us to wait till we have the game to be able to watch that, and so no spoilers got released. But I did get a chance to see a couple of chapters. I recorded some of it as well. I recorded, I think, chapter 5, and I won't tell you exactly what happened in it, but what I'll say is that it's actually really immersive because you can read, like, there'll be like slideshows with text and voice, and then you actually get to play. It's very immersive. You get to play and watch and read and listen all at once. So I think, yeah, this is a bit different to the way story mode has been done before.
Ooh, very interesting. So quick question, so is it like, do you literally get to choose the characters that you want to take part in the story, or is it like you have to follow a chronological order?
It's pretty much a chronological order thing. With the main story, you can't pick which character you want to be in the story. That would be reserved for the character-specific story. If you want to go through, like, let's say, I don't know, Eddie Gordo's story, you'd pick him, and then you would go through his specific story, and that would entail something similar to the main story, which is just playing, reading, watching, and all that kind of stuff. But the main story will have just your main sort of characters, right? So you think of the Mishimas and whoever else that will be in there. I don't want to give any spoilers, of course.
Gotcha. Oh, very detailed. Thank you so much for that, because I was so curious about that one. So during your video, like, what game modes were you actually able to try out?
I was able to try well, yeah, arcade mode, treasure battle. I was able to see, like, the jukebox mode, which is, you know, all the OSTs, and I was able to see theater mode. Check out some of the options. I wasn't able to go online, so I wasn't able to see the online options, which is a shame because a lot of us love to play ranked battles and all that kind of stuff. But and, you know, obviously practice mode was there too, but I wasn't allowed to record anything from practice mode. So I had a good chance to look at the game really in depth, and I got to check out the VR as well, the virtual reality mode of Tekken 2. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, I got a good chance to see, like, most of the game, I guess.
So, do you think there's something different that they're providing with the practice mode for them to actually not allow you to actually show anything from there?
Specifically different that they don't want to show. I think their logic behind not showing anything in practice mode is that they want us to be able to get the game day one and find the changes that they've made to the characters on the day. They want us to go through a discovery period, because a lot of players love that time period where they can discover new things that their characters got, or, you know, nerfs and buffs and all that kind of stuff. So they don't want people to record practice mode and find the changes and show people the changes to the characters. They want people to go through that discovery period and have fun doing so.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense now, because I thought it was something else. That sounds pretty doggone good to me. I thank you so much for that. See, I'm still choked up right now. Okay. So let's move on to the next question, which is, I remember I actually watched the first couple minutes of your video, and you mentioned an interesting fact that you said that the pacing of the game is a bit slower. So with that said, how much slower did the speed of the game feel?
Well, my first chance to play Tekken Fatal Retribution, the new version, was in September 2016, so last year September. And what I specifically remember was that when I was playing, I was like, damn, this game feels so much slower than Tekken Tag 2. And that was the hardest thing for me to get used to. I don't know if it's me specifically because I play competitive, play at a fast pace, but that was one thing I really had, like, I needed some games to get used to the pace of Tekken 7. Now I know for a fact that if I want to get into the details, that the sidestep frames for sidesteps have been nerfed, so it's been made a little slower from 5 frames to 7. So that's some technical details there. So you know, sidestepping has been made a bit slower. Back walking, if it just seems a bit slower, you know, and you know, the movement just generally is a bit slower. But I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I think, yeah, it does seem it is slower, but in the grand scheme of things, it's something that you can very easily get used to with a few games, and you know, it's actually great overall.
Darn it. These phones, I tell you. Alright, so with that said, darn phone, let's move on to the next
You're a popular man, like, everyone calling you, you're popular.
I guess. So with the next question, the reason why I came up with this one is it was interesting that I heard you say that, and for you to pick up on it so quickly, I'm so curious as to what has been nerfed with this character. And we're talking about the ever so famous
Eddie. Okay.
So,
awesome.
So how was Eddie nerfed based on what you have learned?
So Eddie Gordo. So Eddie Gordo is one of my main characters. I know he's not very popular with the casual crowd. He's a bit of a tough character to deal with. Actually, my first video on my channel was to specifically go through how to beat Eddie because people have such a hard time with him. But like, yeah, Eddie has been changed in Tekken 7, and I agreed with, you know, before he even got announced, I agreed that if he was going to be put in Tekken 7, he should have been nerfed in some way. And one thing was specifically his back 1-4 string. It's a punch kick string, which, if on counter hit, would give like tons of damage, and it was very abusable. And as I predicted, they nerfed that, which was fair enough. But then they've also nerfed a lot of his other tools as well, like his will understand what I'm saying, but like the sidestep 3+4, which is it's a defensive tool. His defensive tools have been nerfed with the sidestep 3+4. His down 4-2, which was his main, it was an elbow move, which was his main sort of move. If your opponent was sidestepping a lot and you were fishing for a counter hit, down 4-2 would be the best move to use. Now that they've nerfed the speed on that as well, and obviously they've also nerfed his relax mix-up a little bit as well. So I mean, yeah, he's been nerfed, but again, I haven't got the game, so I can't really tell on the balance if he's been really badly nerfed, because I haven't been able to check every detail of the character. But I have played the character in tournament now, and I can still win with him. You know, I'm still doing well with him. So you know, it's not all bad. It's not all bad at all.
So I guess based on that note, the nerfs are not unreasonable, because like that's one of the issues that people encounter with fighting games sometimes. Like some of the nerfs, some of the buffs that they would do, some players would look at that, especially those on the professional level, and they would just straight out tell you like, yo, this was highly unreasonable.
Yeah, definitely, that happens a lot, and that was definitely something that I thought as well when I saw some of the Eddie changes. Of course, that was before I knew some other changes, because he has got some buffs as well. You know, it's not all bad, but only issue with the character's nerfs would be the elbow move, which I don't think shouldn't have been made slower, or the tracking on the move to beat sidesteps is not as good anymore. So I think for that was a bit unfair, but overall it's not. I agree with the nerfs. I mean, he was a very strong character and people had trouble with him, so fair enough.
So with the elbows, was that like his only option?
It was his best option actually. Eddie, like every character has a homing move, so it's every character has a move which will track 360. So if your opponent tries to step, it will always beat a sidestep. But Eddie's homing move is kind of useless in competitive play. No one really uses it. So yeah, I think the elbow was one of his best tools, if not the go-to tool, to beat people who sidestep. And I'm based on my limited play of Eddie, I just feel that the tracking on the move has been nerfed quite a bit. But I'd have to see. Maybe I'm wrong. If once I get the game, maybe I can test it out, and I might be wrong. So well, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to be, I don't want to say anything too early. I want to check and see if I'm really right on that.
Ah, okay. Well understood. I understand that completely. But I really do appreciate the information that you're providing because it's very insightful.
Yeah. No problem.
And with that, oh, okay, yeah. So with that said, I found this to be one of the most surprising things about 7, especially when 7 was first announced and they started diving into the actual system and describing how it works. Because that surprised the heck out of me, and what I'm referring to is the rage art and the drive system. And based off what I have seen, I feel as though this new system is definitely really going to change the way Tekken is played completely. Yeah. Especially when it comes to certain things, like let's say maybe you may come across someone that really likes to mash a certain move, or they're really a bit mashy, and I almost feel as though the rage art is kind of like a way to discourage that kind of play, maybe play a little bit more careful or cautious. So give me your opinion on this. How much would a rage art and drive system change the way Tekken is played?
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. What the rage art and well, specifically the rage art, not so much the rage drive, but the rage art system is going to really slow down the neutral game when your opponent has rage. So what I mean by the neutral game is just in the open when you're sort of fishing for each other to make a mistake or trying to go in on each other. So let's say, for example, your opponent has rage and you're thinking in your head, well, since rage arts have armor, so if you try to hit your opponent, your rage art will go through their move, absorb the move, and hit them. So you can't really be too, you can't be too mashy, like you said. You have to be a bit more patient and realize that threat of the rage art is there. So it kind of slows down the game. But so yeah, I guess in that way, Tekken, the way Tekken is played, I mean, it changes the sort of pace of the game when your opponent has rage. And the rage drive system, I mean, every character has a different rage drive. Some are not so good. Like I say, Laws is probably really bad. His rage drive is kind of useless. But Ling's, for example, Ling Xiaoyu, her rage drive is amazing. So it kind of really adds an extra element to her game as well, which you have to look out for. And that's very character specific. So yeah, I think overall, the rage system, yeah, I mean, rage art and rage drive are going to change the way Tekken's played, but not necessarily in a bad way. I think, some people don't like the fact that it's going to slow down the pace of the game, but others are quite welcoming to that as well.
Oh, okay. Very nice. Thank you so much for that. Now, this is kind of a random question a little bit, because I believe I forgot to mention this because, it was something that came to my mind about the Power Crush. And here's my question about the Power Crush. Is the Power Crush... Because from the looks of it, it looks like something that you could use to punish somebody when they're using a specific move and you know how many hits it is, and you can absorb a hit or two and hit them with a powerful counter hit, and then you can proceed with a damaging combo of sorts. My question to you is this Power Crush something that can be used more than once, and what are the disadvantages of over relying on it?
is one thing that when Tekken 7 was announced, like many years ago, like kind of 3 years ago or something, that was one thing that I was really scared about, because like you said, it's something that I thought maybe could be abused to just go through people's strings and, you know, net them a lot of damage easily. But actually, the power crush moves that I've seen in a lot of characters are actually kind of very, very unsafe. But the way it works is that it will armor through your opponent's move, but if they're hitting you, you will absorb damage at the same time. So there is that sort of risk reward to it as well. But alternatively, let's say if you do that power crush and your opponent blocks it, let's say I'm using Lily and I use hers. Hers is a launcher, so I'll use hers. I might take some damage, and if my opponent blocks it, then I'm going to be launched for full damage, because it is very risky. So yeah, I mean, the power crush system is, I'd say its best use is to, like you said, maybe go through people's strings if they're mashing a lot, and you know that they're going to mash in a certain time. Then, you know, absorb the damage, but you're going for a high reward. It's a sort of high risk, high reward thing. And if you have a read on your opponent being very, very aggressive and definitely going to do a move, then do it. But I would say its best use is probably just to get yourself out of a really tricky situation. If if your back's to the wall, or if your opponent is just really rushing you down with a lot of pokes and stuff, then yeah, maybe, you know, throw out the power crush and try to get yourself out of that situation.
All right, thank you so much for that. That's very well explained. So let me ask you the next question here. Like, how different does the new variation of the returning character?
Well, I mean, I guess that would have to depend on like which character it is. Like if I'm thinking about a character like Miguel doesn't seem any different to how he was before. Like I mean, even the new combos he has is the same notation from the older games. So someone like Miguel is pretty much the same. But then if you're thinking about someone like Yoshimitsu, or I don't know, even Eddie to some extent. I mean, they're kind of different. Himitsu especially, like he's one character which I've had a lot of exposure to in Tekken 7, and he feels a lot different because he has a lot more moves now which you can use, and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, I mean, generally, if I'm talking about all the characters, they feel pretty much similar. There's not much difference in the characters. If you're a Bob player from Tekken Tag 2 or Tekken 6 and you're coming into Tekken 7, I mean, Bob is still Bob, you know. Lily is still Lily. So, I mean, the characters feel pretty much the same.
So, quick question here is, did you get a chance to tackle the customization feature?
Hey, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I did actually, in my video, I go through customization and some of the options there. So I did have a chance to go through customization while I was at the office.
Let's see. We're gonna go back in time a little bit. Because honestly, customization is not necessarily a feature that's really needed for the game. It's kind of like, to me, it's kind of gimmicky, but at the same time, it's fun to toy around with. So, my question here is, do you think this feature is as engaging as Tekken 5 customization feature was?
Yeah, I think the customization mode has slowly gotten better over time, over the games. They've slowly added in more and more options, and in Tekken 7 there are a lot of options customization wise. They have a lot of, like you said, it's a bit gimmicky sometimes. You have a lot of funky items and stuff they can add onto your character, but I personally know a lot of players that just spend more time in customization than they do actually playing. You know, everyone has their own little thing they love about Tekken, and some people love the customization mode. So yeah, I had a chance to play with customization. You can do a lot of cool stuff with the characters and make them your own and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, customization in Tekken 7 is very sophisticated, a lot of options for people to play around with. I think it's really cool.
Hey, thank you, because I actually did like having fun with that, like back in Tekken 5, even in 2, you know, played around with that for it.
Yeah.
It's definitely something a little extra to look forward to. So this is a very interesting question here. I just want your thoughts on it. Pretty bare bones question, but I'm really curious to see what you think about this one, because it's concerning Roger Jr. And so I just found it very bizarre that the reason why this character isn't in the game is due to animal activists, especially those that are you know, looking after kangaroos. Like, how do you feel about Roger Jr. / Roger, whichever Roger they would include? How do you feel about that specific character not being in the game?
And Roger's a character which I really enjoyed playing because I felt he's a very simple character to use and very effective as well. He was one of the characters that I was going to actually do a tutorial on how to play with, not against, but how to play with, because he's such a simple character and so effective to use. So yeah, I'm kind of sad to see him not be in the game, and to know the reason why he was not in the game. I mean, I don't know, like, there are always going to be those people that sort of, they don't like games, they say that, you know, the adverse effects of games, they reach very far, and you know, apparently Roger Jr. being in Tekken caused problems outside of the gaming world. So I don't know, I don't particularly agree with it. I think it's kind of sad that he's not in the game, but yeah, well, what can you do?
I know, right? I just found that very bizarre. So yeah, to get your input on that, it was a slightly surprising question. I wasn't expecting that, and so that was fun to hear.
Yeah.
I had no idea. So thank you for answering that one. So alright, now there's this big deal going on about guest characters being in Tekken 7. Now, if there was any character that you would really like to see, what would that guest character of your dreams, what guest character?
You know, this is funny. I want you to take a guess, one guess, as to what you think my guest character would be in Tekken. Outside of Tekken, just take a guess.
This is gonna be extremely
what
hard.
videos did I watch of yours on your channel?
It could be anything. I'm assuming it's crud. Now, you did mention One Piece. Oh my god, you're kidding me, right? Are you really gonna say that? All right, I'm gonna take a wild guess. Luffy.
You got it, man. You got it. Yeah, Luffy, man. Luffy would be awesome in Tekken, dude. Look, if any restrictions, when Harada-san asked what character would you like to see, people came up with all sorts of stuff, and you know, it's not really sort of that out there. You know, the One Piece game is made by Namco as well. You know, Luffy. You know, I mean, Luffy, Zoro, these characters would be awesome in Tekken, man.
Yo, you know what? I was not expecting that either.
Imagine Zoro gets like, okay, imagine a trailer comes out, Bandai Namco, and you know, the video starts out really dark, and then all you see is a red eye, and then you see Zoro. Would that not be just like so sick? That would be awesome. I don't know. I mean, it's probably not gonna happen, but if you're asking me who I would like to see, that's what I would like to see.
That would be dope. I love that answer. I was so not expecting that. I'm so glad I gave you that question. All right. And now for the final question. So, do you think Jun Kazama would make some kind of appearance? Like, if she's not playable, do you think there would be a chance of her making maybe like a random cameo in the story?
I mean, I can't see how she doesn't make an appearance in the game. I mean, this is the conclusion of the Mishima saga. I mean, if you're not gonna have Jun Kazama in the story, I mean, I don't know. She has to be in there, even if just for a few seconds. She has to be in there because, as far as I know, she's just considered to be missing. She's not confirmed to be dead. So, if Kazumi Mishima is in the game, you know, which is Heihachi's wife, then I can't see how Jun, which is such an integral part of the Tekken story, I don't see how she can't make a cameo appearance in the conclusion of the story. So yeah, I mean, I think she will be in there in some way. She should be anyway.
Right. I feel the exact same way. And oh my god, SpaghettiRIP. We tackled a lot today, and this was like so much fun to get your thoughts and everything, like sharing your experience with Tekken 7 and even your opinion on a variety of things. It has been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Pleasure is all mine.
Thank you. Man, no, man, you're the bro, man. I'm so honored to literally have you here, okay?
Thank you very much, man. Thanks.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this video, but before we do that, is there anything you would like to share to my viewers here?
I guess you know, for your viewers, if you guys ever feel interested in joining the Tekken community, you know, if you're American or if you're European, you know, both Europe and America have amazing Tekken communities, and they're so welcoming and amazing. So if you ever feel like you want to get involved, you know, just hit me up, you know, and I can you know, move you into the right direction. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Twitch and YouTube, of course, now. So anytime, just, you know, any of you want to get involved, just, you know, hit me up, give me a question, and you know, hopefully see you guys in the Tekken community in the future, man.
Yo, that's what's good. So you heard the man, guys. His channel link is going to be pinned in that comment section below, as well as put in the description section. So that way, when you comment on this video or do whatever it is you're going to do, there is no excuse for you to miss it. It's there. I highly advise that you check his channel out and follow him on Twitter, because this man always has something interesting to share. And the fact that he's here with me today, he's just amazing. You know, he was so willing to be part of this without question, and that really made me hype as a Tekken fan, and to have him here was an absolute pleasure and an honor, and thank you so much for joining.
Having me on, thank you very much.
Alright, and with that said, we're going to go ahead and end it here. So you heard it from SpaghettiRIP, folks. Tekken 7 is lit. So if you enjoyed this video, remember to do that spit with gusto by doing the following: comment, like, and subscribe. Not only to my channel, but SpaghettiRIP's as well. And please make sure to follow him. And I hope we see you guys again next time. Peace.